All right, Mr. Delgado, you want to come up to the witness stand?
Here's
You solemnly swear the evidence in the testimony or given the cause will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
And your lawyers advised you on your constitutional privilege not to testify, and understanding that you agreed to waive that and testify before this jury, correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have a seat. All right, adjust the microphone. I try to speak up so everybody can hear you, sir. Mr. Vega, you may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
Billy Delgado.
Mr. Delgado, how old are you?
I'm 35 years old.
Okay, sir. And where are you from?
I'm from Laredo, Texas.
Okay, and you lived in other places?
Yes, sir.
Where?
I lived in Arlington, Texas, and Mansfield, Texas, and Laredo, Texas, and San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, you were born here in Laredo?
Yes.
And what's your mom's name?
My mom's name is Maria Concepcion Delgado.
And your dad's?
My stepdad is Luis Delgado, and my real dad is William Bloom.
Your biological dad is William Bloom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your mom's maiden name?
And Maria Johnson.
Okay. You went to
I went to United High School.
United High School? Okay. Where else after that?
I went to South Texas Vocational Institute. I became a combination welder.
And when was that, sir?
In 2016, I started school. In 2017, I finished and graduated in trade school as a combo welder.
And you were how old at that time?
I was about 27 years old, sir.
Okay. And before you became a welder, were you working here?
Yes, I was working in a staffing agency as a forklift driver.
You have another child from another relationship, right?
Yes, I do.
And what's the name of that child?
My son is 11 years old, and his name is Israel Delgado, and he lives in Fort Worth with his mother.
Okay. And you said you had lived in that Dallas area, the Fort Worth area. Is that where you met the mom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how long were you with her?
I was with her for about 5 years.
Okay. And then you separated?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you still see your son?
Yes, I see him on the summers. I get him for a whole month, and I see him when he doesn't have school for the most part.
You have a good relationship with both the mom and the son?
Yes, I
I'm
do.
gonna object to relevance, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Okay. So you've done your best to try to raise your son?
Yes, I have, sir.
Okay. And after you left the Dallas area, you came back to Laredo?
I moved to San Antonio, and I started going to trade school, sir.
Okay. And then you moved back to Laredo?
When I finished trade school, I moved to Mansfield, Texas, to start working in the industry as a welder.
All right. And where does Erica Torres come into play?
I was living in Arlington, Texas, and Miss Torres had DM'd me, and we linked up, and she went to go live with me in Arlington, Texas.
Oh, okay. I always thought you guys met reunited here. But so she went up to Arlington after she messaged you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how long did you live in Arlington with?
I would say about a year at the most, if that.
Okay. And then you moved?
Yes, we moved to San Antonio.
Did you experience any problems with her in Arlington?
Yes, we did. We had our arguments here and there, but she threw a weight at me and missed one day, and that's when we decided to split up. But then we talked about it, and we ended up moving together back down to San Antonio.
Okay. So there was only one incident there where she got physical?
In Dallas, yes.
Okay. And then you moved back to?
We lived with my family for a little bit, and then we came to Laredo for the most part during COVID.
Okay. I believe those testimonies, she said that you guys were in San Antonio, right?
Yes, we were in San Antonio.
How long?
Less than a year. Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you live in your own apartment?
Yes, we had a condo in Alamo Heights.
Okay. And did you have any incidents there?
Yes, that's where I pressed charges for the assault on the first time she hit me, sir.
Oh, well, you were still in San Antonio.
While we were still in San Antonio.
And I guess she went to court, took care of that case, right?
She went to court, took care of it, and we were still living together at the time, yes, sir.
And what did she do in that incident? How did she hit you?
We were arguing because we had a 2-story condo and both my daughters were playing upstairs. I consider my stepdaughter my daughter. Both my daughters were playing upstairs. They were playing beauty school, and they came down and the older one had cut the youngest one hair, and Miss Torres snapped and dragged the older one by her hair up 2 flights of stairs. And when I told her, like, maybe you could have handled that different, she said for me not to tell her how to raise her daughter.
And that's how the fight started?
And that's how the fight started, and she started coming towards me, and I was like, Erica, stop, and that's when she hit me a couple of times, and that's when the neighbors called the cops.
Okay. You didn't call the cops?
I didn't call the cops, no, sir.
Okay. I know that we brought it up, if you were sitting here next to me during the voir dire, that was one of the questions, and I'm going to ask you, is somebody already threw a weight at your head, and somebody already assaulted you. I mean, why'd you stay with her after those 2 times?
I mean, for the most part, as a man, you're raised to to deal with those kind of things,
Okay.
and just be a man about it. So I decided to be a man about it and be there for my family, what I had at the time.
Okay. So after you said about, what was it, a year in San Antonio?
Yes,
You moved
Yes.
back to Laredo,
Yes.
and that was during COVID.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there was not much going on during that time, right?
No, sir.
I think she said you weren't working at all, you didn't have a job.
No, I was getting unemployment.
Okay, so you were receiving some type of funds?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did any incidents happen after that?
We had gotten in an argument one time at the house, and I was trying to get out of the house, and when I was trying to get away from her, a cologne bottle had fallen on the floor, and she stepped on it, cut her foot, so that gave me a chance to open the door, and I was able to get in my vehicle and skirt off before she got to open the passenger door and continue the abuse.
Okay. And any other times that you recollect?
The time in the vehicle.
The time of the vehicle?
Yes, and after the time in the vehicle, one more time. That was it.
That you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There was other incidents when the police were called, right?
Yes, sir.
And those aren't the times that you're mentioning right now?
No.
Okay, so there were other times?
Yes, there were other times that the cops in San Antonio, before that, they had proof because I was bleeding from the side of the head, so they had to arrest her because they took. I gave them permission to take photos.
Okay. I'm not sure, Mr. Delgado. You said you were bleeding, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have some photos, but are these the photos that I have from that incident?
I believe no. Those were the photos that my 2 aunts. I was at home. We were at home here. We had a condo in Del Mar, and she was hitting me, and all of a sudden somebody rings the doorbell, and out of the blue, 2 of my aunts came to visit, and they were able to. Miss Erica calmed down, and I went upstairs real quick, and I changed my shirt because it was all torn and everything because I didn't want my family to know what was going on at home. And so at that point, my aunts came in, they said hi to the babies and everything, and when they left is when I saw my opportunity to go outside and let them know and show them what was going on, and that's when they decided to take pictures of it because I had never told them that Miss Erica was like that.
Okay. I mean, they knew that you argue a lot, right?
Yeah, they knew that we argued, but I would never tell anybody of the times that she would put her hands on me.
Okay. And a lot of these were they just scratches and slaps, or were they serious?
There were scratches, slaps, and punches, all a mix of everything.
Okay. Did you ever brandish a weapon and
Never.
try to shoot her?
No, sir.
Okay.
Except for, I mean,
Well, we saw the video.
yes, sir.
Right. Okay. And we'll get to that, okay, Mr. Delgado?
Yes, sir.
But, I mean, we have we have assaults after assault after assault after assault after assault. You know, you could have lost your cool in between any of those assaults and shot her, right?
Yes, sir, but I wasn't raised to hate women.
Okay. Or you could have punched her out.
Yes, easily, but I don't put my hands on women.
Okay. So when did you purchase this weapon?
The weapon that I purchased was after July of 2023, when the incident happened. I pressed charges, and one of her brothers had just gotten out of prison, so I was kind of concerned for my safety.
Okay. Did anybody make threats against you?
It's happened before to where I've been threatened by her mother and her brother. Yes.
Okay. So you felt the need to purchase a weapon,
Yes, sir.
and when was that?
That was in not too. Maybe I would if I can recall, it'd be August of 2023,
All right, it's around that time. You're not certain.
around the time of after I pressed charges. Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you ever assaulted after that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you have a weapon. You're being assaulted. I mean, you could have gone crazy and shot her, right? You didn't do that.
I didn't know, sir.
All right. So you've already purchased a weapon. You felt the need to have purchased it because of the threats, but you're not using the weapon, right?
No, sir.
Okay. And you said you have one daughter with Erica, right?
Yes, I have a 5-year-old with Erica, and I have a 11-year-old with Megan Lee Bagwell.
Okay. But you love your daughter?
Yes, I love her. I'll do anything to protect her.
Okay. And you've heard the testimony about the lifetime protective order, and that people have tried to get you to sign documents so you don't have rights to your daughter.
Yes, sir. When they put the lifetime protective order, I didn't even have anybody to represent me in the courtroom.
Okay. Do you want to see your daughter again?
Yes, sir.
Do you love her?
Yes, I adore her with everything.
Do you want to be able to take care of her and raise her?
I would love that.
All right, sir. Now, we're talking about a point in time here, and everybody saw the video. I don't think we needed that. Do we need that test done, Billy, with gun residue on your hands to determine who shot?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so the whole issue here, Mr. Delgado, is whether, why did you shoot Erica Torres, okay? So let me ask you a few questions regarding that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me back a little bit. Your stepdaughter,
Yes.
were there any allegations concerning abuse with her?
Yes, there was.
And what about
Can I
her?
object to relevance, Your Honor? This is about the stepdaughter, Judge.
It goes to our defense judge.
Well, I think it was already discussed to some extent, so I'm not overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Okay. She has a stepdaughter, right? I mean,
Yes.
she has a daughter, your stepdaughter.
Yes.
Okay. Was there ever an incident of abuse?
Yes.
And what happened according to you?
Mrs. Eric, we were living in San Antonio, and Mrs. Torres' family came to visit, and the next day my stepdaughter had what it looked like somebody had hit her in the lip, and she had like a bruise on her neck, and it happened to be Hickey, sir.
Okay. And how did you determine what happened? Or-
Well, we asked, Miss Torres, of course, because I'm not her father, so I'm not allowed to handle those kind of situations. Miss Torres called her father, and they handled that between
Can I
them.
object to hearsay, Judge?
Okay, you were present when this happened?
I was present when this happened, yes.
Okay, so they handled the situation.
Don't repeat what anybody else said, but you're welcome to tell us what you saw or didn't.
Okay, so don't repeat what somebody said, just what you saw, okay?
Yes, sir.
So they handled the situation how?
from what I know, they put her youngest sister in counseling, from what I know.
Okay, so Erica's younger sister was the perpetrator in that case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we move forward. You already have that in your mind, right?
Yes, sir.
There's already been an incident where there was hickeys and by the younger sister, according to you.
Yes, sir.
That's already logged in your brain. Okay, then we move forward now. And take us back to your apartment to the day of the shooting.
Well, the night before, my daughter was taking a shower, and I had asked my roommate Sharon to just watch her real quick while I went outside to smoke a cigarette. And when I came back inside, I went into the bathroom, and I really didn't say anything. I just wanted to peek on her because my daughter was really quiet, and usually she's jumping around in the shower, splashing and stuff. So I kind of peeked in the shower, and she was what looked like she was playing with the vaginal area of a Barbie.
Okay, and that concern you?
Yes. I kind of I reacted in a sense to where I kind of, what are you doing? Yelled, got loud a little bit. And the Barbie went flying out of her hand. So I calmed down and I let her finish taking her a bath. And I took her to the room, changed her, put a cartoon on for she can, calm down because she was crying. And after that is when I started asking her, where did she learn to touch a Barbie in those areas?
And the response?
Her response was she kind of just tried to change the subject. She tried to just, my daughter's very smart, little girl. She just kind of changed the subject, and so I started asking her, I started with my family. I started asking her who has been touching. She had to have learned from touching the Barbie. Where did she learn that from? I started naming family members of mine because my daughter's always bouncing around with my family and Ms. Torres' family. And I started with my family, started going down the list of people, asking her, was it this person who touched you? She started saying, no, Daddy, it wasn't that person. And I went down the list. She said, no. And then I went over to Ms. Torres' family. I started going down the list of people, and when I got to Mr. Louis Torres' name is when she kind of started crying and held me and told me that that it was him that touches her TT.
Okay. And who is Louis Torres?
Erica's brother.
Okay. Is he the one that's been in prison?
Yes.
Do you know what for?
No.
Okay. So their family knows what it means to have a family member in prison,
Yes, sir.
what it feels like.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in your mind, so you already have the previous abuse stepdaughter, and now you have this of your daughter.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so take us, what happened the rest of the night?
Well, I was thinking how I can approach Ms. Torres, because every time I approach Ms. Torres, she tells me that I'm acting like some sort of investigator or something in her terms. Because 2 weeks prior to that happening, she had came to drop off my daughter, and my daughter had a big knot on her head, and she said that it happened at school. And when I told her that I was going to go to school and get the incident report, she freaked out and said, "Oh, you're always acting like an investigator. Why do you have to do that?" And I never got the paperwork from the school. So I figured if she's been abusing me this whole time, that she was abusing my daughter as well.
Okay, so now we have a family member that has access, and you have Erica was giving him access to your daughter, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so that night, did you do anything else, or just put her to bed?
I put my daughter to bed, and I got as much rest as I could, thinking about how I was going to approach Ms. Torres.
Okay. So now you're placed in a position where you're separated. She's got friends in high places, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she already told you that you're not going to be able to do anything to her because she has a friend here at this courthouse.
No, she said, it doesn't matter what I do or how I do it, that she's never gonna lose because of her aunt Becky Palomo is a judge and she can get away basically with anything. In other words,
That's what Erica told you.
yes,
Whether she can do it or not is up to somebody else, not her.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, but that's what she told you.
yes, sir.
All right. So you have all these thoughts in your head. There's no way out because you're not going to get help here, according to you, right?
Yes, I've pressed charges multiple times. I did the report in the vehicle. She got seriously bodily injury, 2 counts of child endangerment, and nothing ever happened to her.
Okay. Anything else?
As in what?
Okay. So you have all these. All these things are going around in your head, right? All the previous abuse and stuff like that. You're not able to get a whole lot of sleep that night, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happens in the morning?
So the following day, we wake up. I made my daughter pancakes as well for my roommate. I made breakfast, and I was thinking about how I was gonna approach it. So I decided I would call Miss Torres, and so when I called her and I told her I needed to talk to her, something was going on with my daughter. She says, "Oh, there's always something going around with my daughter. That's why I never give it to you, because you're always investigating her," and hung up the phone. Or she said, "I'm on my way," and she hung up the phone.
Did she threaten you by, you're never going to see your daughter again?
Yes, and somewhere in there where she says, "This is why I never let you have the baby," and I figured that she's never going to let me see the baby again, especially if I tell her that
Okay.
her brother was fondling with my daughter.
So at this point, your whole world is crashing in. I mean, you got an abuse on your daughter. You have no way to help her.
Yes, sir.
She's already threatened to take your daughter away. You're not going to be able to see
Your
her.
Honor.
What was the objections? I didn't hear it.
Leading.
Okay. So what do you have in your mind going into this?
Well, after I told her that and she hung up the phone, I guess she wasn't too far, and I snapped. It's when I completely lost. I figure I lost my temper. I blacked out, and I unloaded my weapon on Miss Torres.
Okay. But you have, I mean, you're trying to defend your daughter from being sexually assaulted, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I didn't know what was gonna happen to her if I let her go with her mother, because her mother's an abusive woman, and what if she would have done something to my daughter
Okay.
for telling me that what happens at her home?
All right. And this weapon, it wasn't an illegal weapon, right?
No, sir. I don't have a prior record. I have a DWI in 2011. That's about it. That's why I was able to own a weapon.
Okay. You don't have a felony. You've never been convicted of a felony in this state or any other state.
I've only been convicted.
Objection to leading, Judge.
Have you been convicted of a felony in this state or any other state?
No, sir. I've only been convicted once in 2011 for a DWI.
Okay. And how old were you?
I was 22, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And, okay, so you're able to carry a weapon, you're able to have a weapon, is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
All right. And you weren't committing any illegal act when this shooting took place, right?
No, sir.
And you already told us that you were protecting your daughter from a sexual assault, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you thought you were doing.
I didn't know what would happen. What else? I mean, Ms. Torres after I pressed charges in 2023, kept me away from her. Even on her birthday, I wasn't able to speak to her that year or see her.
Okay.
I haven't seen my daughter for her birthday since 2023. 2022 was the last time I saw my daughter for her birthday.
Okay. Erica's not the one sexually abusing your daughter, right?
No, she's
Okay.
physically abuses my daughter.
Right, but she's the one in control of your daughter.
Yes, sir.
Objection to leading, Judge.
Is she the one in control of your daughter?
Objection to leading.
Yes, sir.
Over.
And so is she given access to anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is one of those persons Louis?
Yes, sir. They used to live together, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Louis Torres, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So in order to protect your daughter, I mean, you have to do something, right? To get from daughter getting to Louis.
The last thing I would have ever thought is nobody deserves to be shot. Nobody deserves to be shot.
Right.
Trust me, I regret it every day. I wish it would never happen.
But
But
go
it
ahead.
happened.
Go ahead.
But it happened, sir. And I felt like I was left with no choice.
Was that your way in protecting your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you've been through a lot, so you thought this was reasonable, an unreasonable attempt to defend your daughter?
Like, I didn't think it was reasonable to shoot anybody, but that's what happened.
Well, that's the only option you had at the time, right?
But, yes, sir.
Okay, so at that time it was reasonable. Was that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They made it seem, Billy, like after the shooting took place, that the car stopped. You just kind of walked toward the car and then went up. Is there something else that you wanted to do?
No, sir. I like I said, during those few seconds of that happening, I was in a complete rage and was blacked out.
But I mean, you've been slapped, had weights thrown at you, kicked. I mean, you've been abused all this time, and you didn't break into a rage.
I guess from everything that I've had, all those times bottled in, never doing anything at those times and moment, bottling in and bottling in and bottling everything in, and then finally finding out that something's happening to my daughter, I completely lost it, sir.
Okay. You said when the car approached, I mean, Mr. Delgado, if you wanted to kill her, I would think you would let the car stop, hey, roll down your window, and then shoot her and kill
Objection,
her.
Your Honor, opposing counsel is testifying.
Is that what?
Sustained.
Okay. Wouldn't that be, what would be an easier way if you wanted to kill her?
I wouldn't want to kill her, but I guess if you would say an easier way to kill somebody would be to let them get off the vehicle.
Okay. Or stop the vehicle, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was never your intent, right?
No, sir.
Okay. Your mind.
I was shooting towards. I guess I was shooting towards her vehicle in her direction. Yes, sir.
And you had, I think, they saw a total of, did you have the gun in a box, or how did you have your gun?
I always carry it's small enough to carry in my pocket, so after I bought it, since as long as it's concealed, I'm allowed to carry it anywhere and it fits in my pocket. I always carry it in my pocket.
Okay. And I don't think we saw the video, but I think I saw it, where you basically disappear before the police come down. Where did you go? After the shooting, where did you go?
I was I believe my mother had called me and I was on the phone with her.
Okay, did you ever go upstairs?
I went upstairs to put the pistol and the 2 magazines on the chair because I didn't know how the police were going to respond when they got there.
You didn't want to have any problems with the police?
No, sir.
In fact, you followed their instructions.
Yes, sir.
You got on your knees. We all saw it on video, right?
Yes.
He handcuffed you. You didn't want anybody else getting hurt.
No, sir.
Okay. You already told us you're very remorseful for what happened.
Yes, sir. I wish it would never happen.
Okay. Do you think, Billy, if you wouldn't have heard that your daughter was abused, and if you've never been assaulted so many times before, that this incident would have happened?
No, sir.
Your Honor, can I have just 1 second, please? A couple of seconds here. Okay, you didn't do anything to provoke Erica, and then you responded with a shot, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I already asked you whether you were committing any criminal violation at the time. You weren't.
No, sir.
Okay. Judge, that's all I have. My client.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I could just have a moment.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Delgado.
Good afternoon.
So we just heard a lot from you. So let's start off by saying this. You realize you're on trial, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You agree you shot Erica?
Yes.
All right. You would agree that you caused serious bodily injury to Erica?
Yes.
You would agree you used a deadly weapon?
Yes.
All right. At this time, Your Honor, we're going to play State's Exhibit 4. Mr. Delgado, you ambushed Erica that day, right?
No, sir. I was
No, it's a yes or no question. You ambushed Erica that day.
no.
Did you let her know that you were going to shoot her when she arrived? Yes or no?
I didn't even know I was in the shooter when she arrived.
Okay. Yet, you didn't warn her, right? So you surprised her by shooting her 10 times that day?
No, sir.
It's on video, Mr. Delgado.
I did shoot her 10 times that day, but I didn't shoot her planning that I was gonna shoot her.
Mr. Delgado, you're waiting for her. You called her to come over.
I called her to come over, but when I snapped when she told me what she told me on the phone. What happened in between me hanging up the phone and after what she said to the time that I shot her, I was in rage mode.
You believe this enraged mode is some form of excuse?
No, I'm not giving no excuses, sir.
So then you were conscious of what you were doing?
For those split seconds, I wasn't.
So is it an excuse or not? Because you're saying you were
I
enraged.
don't know what you consider an excuse.
You intentionally called Erica over.
But
Yes. Correct?
But that's not what you said. You said if I considered it an excuse. I don't know what you
What?
consider an excuse, sir.
Mr. Delgado, let me break it down for you. You called Erica Torres over the date of June 1st, 2024 to your apartment, correct?
Yes.
You told her, get here now, correct?
No.
You told her, come over to the apartment.
No.
What did you tell her?
I told her that I needed to speak to her. I needed to come to the house because I needed to speak with her, and that's when she made those remarks as in, this is why I never give you the baby.
Okay,
So yes, I guess you would say I did tell her to come to the house,
thank you.
but
Now,
not intending to shoot her.
objection, Your Honor, non-responsive. Now, when she's coming over, you met Erica with bullets, correct? Shooting at her? You would agree with that?
I don't understand that. I don't understand what you mean
When
by
Erica
I met her
arrived-
with bullets.
When Erica arrived, you immediately started shooting at her, correct?
As according to the video, yes.
Okay. time, we're going to publish State's Exhibit 5. Mr. Delgado, you're walking up to Erica's Kia Soul there, correct?
In the video, yes.
Because you were walking up to her to kill her, correct?
No.
You were walking up to finish the job?
No. I don't know what was going through my head at the time. But it does look like on the video that I was approaching her vehicle.
Well, it wasn't to check on her, right?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No, like I said, I was blacked out at the time from so much rage. But yes, it does look like I'm approaching her vehicle.
So you say you blacked out. When did you come to?
I guess I would say as soon as I was walking up the stairs to put my pistol back on the chair.
And when did you say that you blacked out?
When she told me what she told me on the phone and we hung up. And she hung up.
Okay. And was this before you were, because you heard Ms. Estrada testify, so you blacked out after you were at peace making pancakes that morning? Happily making pancakes?
No, my daughter was inside playing with Miss Estrada in her room, the sorry game, and that's when I told her I was gonna go outside, and I went outside and made a phone call. She doesn't even know about the phone call. I was outside when that phone call was made.
Okay, but you testified earlier that the night before your daughter told you about this, right?
Yes.
And you testified that you went through a list, right? That you started with your family,
Yes.
and then you went to Erica's family.
Yes.
You realized that you, well, how many people did you rattle off? How many names did you rattle off to your daughter, asking her?
I don't recall. I just went through everybody.
Everybody?
On my side, everybody. On her side, about 3 or 4 people.
And you said that your daughter, at some point, just finally cried and said, "Yes, Dad, this happened."
No, not at some point. When I brought up his name, she was coherent and listening to the names that were coming out of my mouth and telling me yes or no.
Okay. Mr. Delgado, you saw Investigator Vaquera testify earlier here today, correct?
Yes, but I don't recall who Mr. Vaquera looks like.
Okay. Well, do you know that children are supposed to be interviewed by a trained specialist? Yes or no?
No.
Do you know?
I don't know how that process works.
Okay. Well, children are interviewed because they are highly susceptible to being influenced when someone asks them constant questions. And you were asking your daughter constant questions. You would agree with that, correct?
I only asked her one question, sir.
You just said you listed off a bunch of names until she finally said
That's
yes.
not asking her questions. I asked her one question and then I started giving her names.
I'm going to object to non-responsive, Your Honor. You gave her a bunch of names, correct? And
After.
I'm going to object. It's been asked and answered. I don't know what he's going with this.
Your Honor, because he's under oath and he's saying that he didn't ask her a bunch of questions, but he's asking her, did so-and-so, did so-and-so, did
I'll
so-and-so.
overrule the objection. Go ahead.
You realize each time that you ask her a person's name, that is a question, correct?
Oh, I guess if that's what you're saying, yes. I asked her one question and I started stating names.
Okay.
But yes, if I'm asking her, was it this person, I guess you would consider that a question.
And yet you somehow landed on Uncle Louis, right?
Yes. After I listed a bunch of people, yes.
Okay. Now, after this video was taken, you got arrested, right?
Yes, you know this. They told you that.
Yes, we're just doing this for the questioning. Thank you, Mr. Delgado. Now, when you got arrested, you went to LPD, correct?
They took me to the police station.
To the police station. All right, and prior to that, you had already confessed, yes, I shot her, I did what I did, I'll take my consequences, correct?
I do not. I recall telling the police officer that I unloaded my clip. I don't recall telling him that I'm willing to deal with the consequences.
Okay. You don't remember telling Officer Amezquita, I'll deal with the consequences?
No, sir.
You don't remember telling your neighbor while you're in the back of the cop car?
I remember yelling out to my neighbor that my daughter was violated. Yes.
Okay.
Not, and I don't recall ever saying that I'm willing to deal with the consequences.
No. I'm going to ask you, you said you were taken to LPD?
Yes.
All right, you remember going to LPD?
I remember getting there. Yes.
Okay, you weren't in the supposed blacked out stage still?
No, sir.
Okay. So, then you remember your interaction with Mark Vela?
I do.
Okay. You remember telling him how Erica
Right.
has a rap sheet and you don't have a rap sheet, so you don't deserve this? Do you remember that?
I don't think I ever said I don't deserve this, but I do recall what me saying that I don't have a rap sheet and she has a rap sheet. Yes.
Okay. You remember bragging about Blasa Bloom?
I wasn't bragging about it. I was just stating
What were you stating?
her name, that she's my relative.
Okay. No, you didn't just say that she was your relative. You said, go look at the pictures, right?
What pictures?
You told, when the officer said, who's Blasa Bloom? You said, go outside. She's my grandma, first police captain of Laredo.
I never said. I don't recall saying go look at the pictures.
It's in evidence.
But if
Mr.
it
Delgado.
is in there, I guess yes. I said a lot of things that day.
In fact, you use that. You tried to use that as leverage, correct, with Erica?
No, sir.
You would always tell her, I know LPD.
Never.
You never told her that.
Never.
So you wouldn't use the fact that your grandmother was an LPD and that you knew the police?
Never. My grandma has not been a part of my life for a really long time, sir.
Then why would you say that
I don't
Blasa
know.
Bloom's your grandma?
I just stated it just to state it, sir.
Did you state it so that they would take off the cuffs and let you go that
I
day?
would never think they would do something like that, sir. That would be ridiculous to even think that.
Well, I guess you were thinking ridiculous that day.
I don't see how, but if you say so.
Now, you said that you stayed in this relationship because you're a real man, right? A real
Along
man.
those lines.
You said a real man deals with this?
I said a real man deals with what he has to deal with, and yes.
So a real man shoots his wife while she doesn't suspect it? Is that what a real man does? Because that's what you did there.
No, sir.
So you're not a real man.
I would say I degraded myself that day.
You said you weren't raised to hit women, right?
Never.
Were you raised to shoot women?
Neither.
You said you love your daughter?
I adore her with everything. I'll do anything for her to protect her.
Did you think that when you went upstairs that day that Emmy was going to be proud of you for killing her mommy?
I don't know what you mean by that.
I'm asking you. Did you if you love your daughter, did you think that you were going to go back upstairs to your apartment that day and that Emmy was going to be proud of you for killing her mommy?
I didn't think I was going to go upstairs and explain to my daughter anything.
Did you believe that Emmy was going to be happy that you shot her mom?
No.
Mr. Delgado, you expressed that you're remorseful for what you did. Is that correct?
Yes.
You expressed that you regret what you did that day. Is that correct?
Yes, I ask God for forgiveness, and hopefully one day Miss Erica can forgive me.
Did you regret this the moment you did it?
Yes, right
So-
after that.
Right after that?
I would say it was thought. It was in my head that I should have done that.
So you regretted it from the moment you shot her? Even though you were smirking there at LPD, laughing about it, acting like if you just threw out the trash?
No, that was how I felt towards the cop because he was getting smart with me, so I got smart with him.
Okay. Mr. Delgado, you've been in Webb County multiple times, correct? Webb County Jail?
Not multiple. This is my first time.
2 times, correct?
For this incident, yes.
Okay, you were arrested initially after this incident?
The day of, yes.
Yes, and then you turned yourself in, correct? The second time?
The second time I turned, yeah, I bonded out with no restrictions, and
I
then
want to object to this line of questioning. What's
I'm going to establish the foundation right now, Your Honor. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You use the jail phone calls? You use the phones in the jail, correct?
I did.
Excuse me?
I did.
You did? All right. I'm going to tender what's marked as State's Exhibit 52. First, let me show it to you. While you're at the jail, when you use these automated systems, they say that they record, right?
Yes.
They say that this call is subject to recording.
Yes.
It is an automated machine,
Yes, sir.
and by pressing and taking part in the conversation, you consent to that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you use the jail phones, correct?
Yes,
Freely
sir.
and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit this.
I can't tell which phone call that is by just a USB.
It serves purpose, Your Honor, due to his regret and remorsefulness.
Yeah.
And we've tendered this already to
What
defense
is the
counsel.
objection?
Which number is it?
It's going to be State's Exhibit 52.
Do I have 52? Is it labeled 52? Can I hear it before they play it, Judge?
Well, can you identify it to what you tendered to him? Is it numbered in some way, shape, or form?
It's in some form of USB, Judge. We tendered him all the jail calls of the defendant.
Yeah, but what label is that? What number is it? Like, which is a DVD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9?
It should be 8.
It's in the defense's possession, Your Honor.
All right, so what's the objection, Mr. Baker?
I have none, Judge. I just wanted to make sure that I had it.
All right,
Because
you may proceed, it's admitted.
Permission to publish State's Exhibit 52, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. Please remain on the line. Hold for acceptance. Several charges for your call have been accepted. It was not. They're not? in the population? What is it, President?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object, you can't hear what's being said.
It gets higher, Your Honor.
Do they have a transcription of it?
Your Honor, I could ask him if he's able to identify the voice in the call.
Well, but not, it's not only that, Judge, it's, the objection is that you're gonna hear.
They're hiring the volume there. You gotta
Is
go for it.
So
there a way to get the volume up?
Right.
Yes. It's gonna get higher, Your Honor.
All right, let's see what happens. I'll overrule the objection.
That's what you did. I did. Then what you said, I mean, okay. So you take medication? No, I take medication? No. Okay. Torres. I believe it. Billy, necesitas que ayudarte a ti mismo, Billy. ¿Entiendes? No, Billy, necesitas que ayudarte a ti mismo. No te multipliques de Erika y si Erika necesita ayuda. Fíjate decir que tú tienes que ayudarte. No te quieres ayudar. Las cosas son que más.
Who are you talking to in this phone call?
It sounds like my mother.
Well, I mean, looking in your right mind would do what you did, son. So how would you get the issue? Okay, but you know what? And so you can speak to me and realize. No, I know you're not saying bad words, Debbie. I know that. But you're not understanding that this was not a slap in the face. And this is when we told our children as growing up to think that we cannot protect people. That you're going to regret. There's only so much we can teach you, and there's only so much.
Mr. Delgado, you said you regret what you did that day immediately?
I said that today.
No, I asked you earlier. I said, did you regret it immediately after you did it? And you said, yes, I did. Correct?
Yes, I thought I did, yes.
Okay, this phone call is dated from June 6th, after the date took place on June 1st. And, play it again, please.
I heard it. That day I did say I did not regret it. I was upset.
That we cannot protect people. If you're going to regret, there's only so much we can teach you, and there's only so much.
I believe you said you don't regret a motherfucking thing you did. How about that, correct?
Yes, sir, I did say that day. I was still upset.
Objection to non-responsive. Now,
Your Honor, he's gotta let him answer the question. I'm gonna object to any interruption.
Pass the witness.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Yes, sir, you step down, have a seat next to your attorney, please.